He has figured out a way to be invisible. You know exactly what I'm talking about. He's not dead. I just can't see him.
Okay. Now, I agree with you. Adrian was brilliant. But it wasn't because of anything he invented. It was how he got in people's heads. You think about it. He came up with the perfect way to torture you, even in death. The only thing more brilliant than inventing something that makes you invisible is not inventing it, but making you think he did.
He's not dead, Tom.
And that was a clip from The Invisible Man, and I'm joined here by Elisabeth Moss. Elisabeth, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very, very well.
Good.
Great to have you here. So, for the folk that are yet to see this movie, can you set up your character, Cecilia Cass, and where we meet her?
Yeah, the film opens with her stealthily and quietly escaping a house, a beautiful home, and she seems really afraid, and you don't really know why. And then it is revealed that she is actually escaping a quite abusive relationship. And the film goes on from there.
I like how you did that. All right, well, clearly we're not going to say too much. Since I saw it, I've heard a lot of people describe the genre in different ways. Oh, it's a horror, it's a psychological chiller, it's a psychological thriller. Do you have an idea in your head of how you would describe the genre of this film?
Not really. I mean, I guess it technically is horror, but for me, I think the best films are sort of indescribable in genre, you know? How do you just, like, what would you say Parasite is?
I mean, exactly. That's, that's a genre bender, no doubt.
Exactly. So I feel like it's, some of the best films, it's like, are they a drama? Are they a comedy? Are they both? Are they scary? They're psychological. For me, I think this is just a really unique story.
Yeah. And also expectations are important, aren't they, when you go into a movie? If I went in there thinking this is a horror,
yeah,
I would have been emotionally prepared. Okay, there's going to be a jump, there's going to be a scare.
Yeah.
And actually, I didn't know that at all. So I can tell you the first half of that film, the way I would describe it is probably the most enjoyable film I wanted to end really soon. Because I was super on edge. To have an antagonist that you can't see, that messed with me.
It really does mess with people. It's so interesting.
The tension, I mean, it held me throughout. And I was thinking about this, and then I'd bumped into the actor Essie Davis, and she was in a film called The Babadook, and we were talking about The Babadook, and she said something to me that I thought, I'm going to ask Elisabeth about that when I see her. She said she found it such a challenge to be fraught, to be tense as an actor for that long in the movie. Yeah. And when I was watching The Invisible Man, I thought, okay, this is not Mad Men anymore. You're going through some stuff.
Yeah, it is tough, actually. But it's more about the sustained nature of it. So it's more about the fact that you have to kind of do it for so long and also make sure it doesn't all look the same. That it's not all just like one note and you're just like, that's boring. So you have to kind of, it's not just about that, or at least I felt it wasn't just about that. It was also about like, well, how scared am I now? Well, how scared am I now? Well, what do I, it's just sort of about modulating that. But it was also really fun, challenging.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me about the fight scenes, because and I hope this isn't giving too much away, but there are moments where, to the untrained eye, you're fighting with nothing.
Yeah, I know. And
what were you doing?
Well, I wish I could continue this sort of myth and be like, yes, it was just me, just on my own, fighting with nothing. But no, I would be doing a disservice to the incredible stunt person who was fighting with me.
And they painted the dude out.
They painted him out, yeah. And we had an amazing stunt team, same guys that I worked with on Top of the Lake. My stunt double, Sarah, was the same stunt double I had then because we were in Australia. And they were just incredible. So I have to tip my hat to the work that they did because they worked really hard. But I had an amazing stuntman for Adrian, and he took such good care of me, and we were, made sure everything was safe.
Yeah, and I think the sound mixing on that film really added to because if you're not seeing a fist flying at your face, the sound suddenly becomes all important.
Totally.
So that house was in Australia?
Yeah.
Is it a real house?
Yeah.
Who the heck lives in that house on the cliff?
A madman. It's actually a really famous architect who did it, and they don't let people shoot there. And we got to shoot there. We had to be like, you could barely breathe in this place. Like everyone had to wear booties inside and take very, very, very good care of it. Yeah, you could literally not do anything.
And by the way, we're going to have a really violent fight.
Yeah.
Tell me this, right? And you can shut me down. Maybe I'm totally reaching, right? But I love a film that has a title that can mean a number of things.
Right.
And you think about The Invisible Man, obviously the original, blah, 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 is what it is. But I was watching this film and I was thinking, there's something in this film that feels very current, very important about abuse, right? And I was thinking, The Invisible Man, it said to me loads of things. Like, is it a man within a domestic abuse situation who has, it could be he's invisible because he has two faces, one for the public and one behind closed doors.
Sure.
Is it relating to a woman who feels invisible because of the life she's forced to lead?
Right. Both of those things. I mean, I think that's exactly right. I don't think he reached it all. It's 100%. The whole thing is a metaphor for gaslighting and
Extreme gaslighting.
And or the whole thing could be a metaphor for having to let go of an abusive relationship and having to, how do you do that? You know, I think when people get out of something like that, if they're lucky enough to get out, it's not like it all just goes away. Everything's fine now because, you know, I broke up with the guy and everything's all right now. You still carry that with you. And I think Cecilia goes through the process throughout the film of having to face her attacker, face her abuser, and, you know, without spoiling anything, deal with it.
Yeah, and the frustration of feeling crazy.
Yes.
And also knowing that you look and sound crazy.
Yeah.
In everything that you're saying.
And
Incredibly
going through a
frustrating.
period of being like, am I crazy? Like she, I think, goes through a period where she's like, I think I am crazy. I think I do. I think I am imagining this, you know? So it's in dealing with that, I think is I think we've all experienced some level of that, like hopefully not to Cecilia and Adrian's level, but some level in relationships, whether it's work or romantic or whatever it is, where we feel like something is wrong here and I can't put my finger on it, but I'm not crazy, you know? And then hopefully you find out that you're not, or hopefully you find out the truth. But in Cecilia's case, she has to kind of go about it the hard way.
Of course. Well, a lot of entertainment comes from that. I was wondering, is this the first out-and-out lead role in a movie for you?
In studio film, yeah, for sure. I do a lot of small films, but this is the first, big,
and do you feel did you find you were feeling an additional pressure carrying a film, or how did you feel about that?
No, but only because I'd worked with them before, because I did Us with Jordan Peele. So I'd worked with these same exact Blumhouse producers before.
Oh, right. Same production team. Okay.
Same production team and Universal and everything. So I didn't feel like a sense of, oh my God, here's all these new people who I don't know. And I also felt like if I was going to make a studio film, especially something that comes out of like a Universal monster franchise idea, which, by the way, I didn't even know until someone told me. I was like, oh, there's other ones? Like,
oh, really?
I mean, I know who Dracula is, but I didn't know like that this was like a thing. So someone had to tell me. I was like, ooh, that sounds like a big deal. For me, I just looked at it like it's a super weird, dark, scary film. So I didn't feel that pressure.
And were you thinking about that, what we were mentioning before about abuse and stuff? Thinking about that this is weighty?
Absolutely. I was like, this is a real drama. A really weird, complicated drama cloaked in this idea of a, sort of supervillain.
And is that your number one approach to work? Because I think just thinking about the stuff that I've seen you in, and I think of Mad Men, Handmaid, and Us, and Light of My Life. They're not lightweight things.
No,
they're making important points.
Yeah, they have like a deeper thing that they're always sort of talking about. I mean, I think films can just be entertaining and fun too.
Sure.
My favorite movies are romantic comedies, and I love that kind of thing. So I think that's important too.
So you're not a horror buff, would you say?
I am though. I love horror films. Oh yeah, absolutely.
You've done a few now that could be described.
I know. Well, I discovered something which was, oh my God, like I discovered on Us that I could be super weird and messed up, and it was great. And Jordan would laugh, and he would be like, "Yes, it's amazing. It's so scary. Let's do it again." And I was like, "Oh, this is cool. I like this." So I think I'd like to do another one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but maybe I'll be the villain this time.
Then you won't have to do like 17 levels of scared.
Yeah, exactly. I'll just be scary.
You were talking about the stunt work. How much of the fighting did you do? What was the prep?
In that particular sequence, in the kitchen fight.
In that, and
that was actually split into 3 parts, and the one that my stunt double Sarah did is the one where she goes across the table.
Right. Yeah, that was particularly the one I was
super cool. Yeah, exactly. Like, there's no way I can do that. She's so like much better at it, frankly. But a lot of the other stuff was me. Yeah.
Can you tell us a bit about working with Lee? What that
Yeah, Lee is like a puppy dog when it comes to horror films. There's no one who loves it more. He's so enthusiastic about it. So he would come up to me after takes and he would just go, just like a little bit more scared, just more scared. And I would be like, Lee, honestly, it's just like, we have to maintain some semblance of reality here, because I'm kind of more of a subtle actor. And he was like, oh, yeah, but just like a little bit more, just a little bit more. And so I think we would meet in the middle. Honestly, he would push me, I would like kind of push down a little bit, and it would end up in a good place. But we worked really well together. We were collaborative, and it was fun, and we spent a lot of time just joking around. They'd have to like come in and break us up and be like, okay, we have to shoot something, because we would just be off on like a bit for 5-10 minutes.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, and they'd have to like interrupt because we would just be telling stupid jokes back and forth. But we pushed it, though. He would come up to me, and Bird Box was around at the time that we were shooting that. And I loved that movie, and I loved her performance in it. And she had won the MTV Movie Award for Most Scared Performance or something like that. And I had just gone to the MTV Movie Awards. And I came back, and we basically made it a thing of like, oh, she's the one to beat. That we were going to take Sandra Bullock down.
Right.
And I was going to get that goddamn award, you know? And he would grab me, and he would shake my shoulders, and he would say, more Sandra Bullock, which kind of worked, actually.
Yeah, just bullock it up about 15%.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So how many takes there's a particular scene, obviously I don't want you to go into detail, but there is a scene in a restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
Where your reaction, I almost found scarier than what happened.
Oh,
so how many did you go on that one?
That's nice of you. I think it was a couple.
It's horrifying.
I think it was a couple different angles, though.
Right.
Because like it was pretty.
Yeah, you don't want to do.
You just can't do that too many
break
times.
for coffee, come back.
It's like,
But it's good. I guess it's good that you had someone like Lee who you can trust. He knows.
Yeah.
Right. So
exactly.
if he's got it, he knows.
Exactly.
What's coming next for you?
Season 4 of Handmaids, which we're about to start shooting.
Oh my gosh. Okay. That's
Which is so
exciting.
weird. I can't believe it's season 4. So bizarre. I've got a film called Shirley that just was bought by Neon.
Okay.
Speaking of Parasite, that'll come out at some point this year. The Wes Anderson film, French Dispatch, is coming out on my birthday, July 24th.
Gosh. Yeah. And presumably no sleep or anything else.
Not a lot of sleep, but it's okay. I try to get when I can.
That's awesome. Well,
Yeah.
we hope to see you as the out and out lead many, many more times over.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Thank you
Thanks a
very
lot.
much. Appreciate it.
Cheers.
Thanks. Cheers.